behind Tony Gwynn and maybe a chance to win a World Series, something that Gwynn never did in San Diego. Your thoughts on what you just saw?
Well, what you just saw was a World Series interview. When you think about just how poised Manny was and his reasoning behind wanting to get this done, it speaks to his leadership for the ball club. This guy is on a Hall of Fame highway, by the way, when you look at his overall work and his body of work. But I'm going to stick with some P's here with this whole signing of Manny Machado. One, you sign players. Most organizations will invest in any player, but you invest in people. And what the Padres have done is they've invested in Manny, the person. He just so happened to be a great player. When you think about some of the things that Manny said, he used the word promises that have been kept by the organization. When you sit down to create these long-term contracts, the organization is putting forth a business plan to the player so that the player feels like I have an opportunity to not just get the bag of money, but have a chance to play for a championship each and every day. When you look at the other component of that, it's a partnership on the player side that you heard the owner talk about. Manny has bought in to this partnership. And buying into that partnership means being a leader on the field, off the field, in a community. And I think when you put all of those pieces together, the San Diego Padres will get that parade to celebrate being a championship ball club.
At some point.
I think it's going to be this year.
You believe it this year?
Yes, I think it's going to be this year. When this team is completely healthy, they get Tatis back, they are poised and ready to win the whole thing.
Yeah, well, and watching this press conference, too, one thing that stood out, too, is how they talked about, they put a deadline on these negotiations. When you're a player that has the opportunity to negotiate or have your agent negotiate a type of contract like this, we see this happen a lot of times going into spring training, whether it's an extension or a free agent signing where that player, the agent, they kind of put that deadline to try to get this stuff done. And then that deadline comes and goes, and they're kind of stubborn to it, and that's it. And they go to free agency or the extension doesn't get done. Kudos that they continue to negotiate. Because I never understood, if you're a player of that caliber and you want to stay there like Manny talked about, why would you ever stop negotiating? You know, continue to negotiate, especially if that's the place where you want to be. And kudos to them to be able to continue and actually get it done. And to your point, as far as Tony Gwynn, I mean, he's on his way to joining that 3,000 hit club, too. I mean, I think he's, probably another 1,400 hits or so?
He's halfway there,
yeah.
And he's 30.
Over the course of that contract, he's going to get there. With the hits he puts up, and he smells those RBIs. He knows how to hit. He's a very good situational hitter. He hits to the scoreboard what the game is telling him, what the game is giving to him. And, you know, it's just a good day for the Padres, too. I mean, it's great.
You know, what strikes me, it's a great day for the fans down there in San Diego who showed up and were as loud at that series against L.A. in San Diego as pretty much any baseball stadium I can recall being in. That's how overwhelming it was. So congrats to them. But what strikes me is where Manny Machado was only a few years ago with the Dodgers and answering questions about comments that he made regarding hustling and all that nonsense. And it was overblown. Where he is now, he seems like a completely different person, an adult who is now basically in charge of the guys on that field.
Well, he's embraced that face of the franchise, and he seems very comfortable with it, too. That's a big thing. And that happens with maturity, that happens as you get older. And, you know, you definitely saw that over the course of his time in San Diego, and especially in that press conference. He's embracing that fully.
Yes, he is. And when you start to think about Manny and the Padres, I think one of the biggest questions that the Padres had to answer for themselves as an organization and their urgency to get this done, there are irreplaceable parts with your ball club. And what I mean by irreplaceable, you start to ask the question, if we don't sign Manny, then who's our third baseman? And I don't think they wanted to be in that position. So it was realizing the impact that he's having on the ball club and the value that he brings to your organization. This is a guy that posts every day. And some people may look around and go, okay, when you look at these type of deals, what if this guy gets hurt or this guy plays hurt? So it's one of those things where as an organization, he's in your organization and you see games played second amongst players since 2015. He's playing every day because he understands where he's at in his career. He's chasing dead people. When you think about Manny Machado, this young man he's a baseball lifer. He understands where he's at. He knows what he's trying to accomplish both individually and both as a ball club. This is a win-win-win for everybody.
Agree. And I can tell you right now, the Cubs, the Mets, and the Yankees are all taking a pen. They're crossing his name off because they thought maybe during the offseason in the winter, next winter, they'd have a shot. You don't have a shot. He's a Padre. And at one time, Manny was a short time with L.A.